Jagrata. At some point in one's unfoldment, they have seen enough, they have gone through enough to see that freedom is the only taste that's worth tasting. Things just don't do it. If you are not through with things, then you are either for them or against them. You feel that by having more, you will be better. Or you feel that by having less, you will be better. These states are the same. Renunciation and craving are the same thing to the yogi. They both are energy patterns that are the result of not being through with something. If leaves during the fall turn brown and fall from the tree, some people are okay with this. They don't wish that there were more because they enjoy the color so much that they can't tolerate the fact that it's gone. And they don't wish that there's less because it makes such a mess on the ground and they have to rake it up all the time. They enjoy raking. They enjoy the leaves changing. They enjoy the leaves falling. They enjoy the trees being bare. They enjoy the leaves coming back. In other words, they have nothing going about this process. They understand that the process is happening. They are the experiencer of the process. Why then would one permit their mind to develop a concept or a view or an opinion concerning the process of the changing and falling leaves? Why would anybody do such a thing? It has nothing to do with them. It's just happening. And they are the experiencer of this. This being who sits in this state is what we call through with the changing of leaves. Does it mean this being does not like the changing of leaves? No. Does it mean they like it? No. Does it mean they get no joy from it? No. Does it mean they don't get tired raking the leaves? No. It merely means that they fully are accepting the process. They are at one with the process. So they are through with it. Through with it in a personal sense, not through with it in a cosmic, interactive sense. Through with it really means through with you concerning it. You're not through with it. You're through with you concerning it. You have released the part of your being that had no right to be there anyways. It was doing a meaningless thing, making a process its own, and then judging it. Believe it or not, and I know it is difficult to see, everything can be like that. Everything. There is nothing that is different than anything else. Nothing. It is all a process that is happening outside of you. There are men, there are women. The leaves are changing, the leaves are falling. It has nothing to do with you. You did not make either. Neither belong to you. Neither is repulsive, neither is attractive. They just are. Just like the leaves are. Whether the leaves be on the trees or off. They were here before you came. They have been here from the beginning. And they will be here when you leave. What is difficult about this? What is so troublesome about this? Why can't it be what it is? Because we formulate within ourselves concepts, opinions, views, preferences, beliefs, likes and dislikes concerning things that are none of our business. That indeed is what we do all the time, is attempt to develop within ourselves a complete world which is of our fitting. So now it is not a question of man or woman. It is not a question of leaves or not leaves. It is a question of how does it fit what I built inside of me. Does this woman or this man have anything to do with this dream world that I dreamt up inside of me? If they do, then I am not okay with how they are. I am only okay with how I am. I am only okay if they match me. This is how the ego gets so self-centered. Ego is self-centered. That is what ego means, is this process that I'm discussing. The process of taking a completely harmonious, free world, which was not made by you, and making it your own, is a process of pulling things into you, is a process of self-centeredness. Everything's seen in terms of you, isn't it? Don't be embarrassed. Me too. That is the nature of the ego. Every single thing is seen in relationship to you. Just watch any minute of your day. Watch when you're driving in traffic. Watch any noise. Watch anything. You might as well just sit there and say, what's that got to do with me? What's that got to do with me? Why did that happen to me? What's that got to do with me? It's weird, but it's true. All right? That is ego. This self-centered being that is trying to relate everything that has nothing to do with you to you. When you do that, what you do is build a model, and that's the most important thing to see. You build a model within you of how it all should be. And then you look out through that, trying to make it that way, and therefore you develop these opinions and preferences. If you do this, you have done a terrible thing. Why? Because you have bound yourself. You have bound yourself. You will never know freedom. You don't even know what the word means. You are completely bound to every single change that takes place in this world. You're bound to how somebody talks to you. You're bound to money. You're bound to every single thing. Because all of it has to fit your model. And if it does not fit your model, you suffer. You suffer seriously. The Buddha had it completely right. His words were, the cause of suffering is craving. What does it mean to crave? To have a preference. Don't sit there and say, oh, he meant craving, I just have a preference. That's what he meant. You are differentiating your likes against your dislikes. And you want your likes, and you don't want your dislikes. That is the act of craving. And that causes suffering. And all of it is based upon the process of building a model of how you want it to be, on how you think it should be, on I, on my concepts, and so on. This is what binds you. To be free is when you start seeing that you can be done with things. It is not that you must leave this world. You do not have to die to be free. You do not. You can be in the world, but not of it. Those are Christ's words. You do that by being through. If you try to push things from you because you're afraid of them, you're not through with them. If you try to renounce, if you try to deny, you are not through. You just have a model that's being negative about something. If you try to get, to cling, to take, to prefer, to pull toward you, you are not through. You have a model that is attracted versus repulsed by something. And it is all due to the same model. Your true relationship with this world is to let it be, to permit it to be what it is. It can pass through you. It can. That which appears repulsive will pass. That which appears attractive will pass if you let it. It's just going about its dance through the universe. It's on its way through the universe. It just happened to pass by your consciousness. And your consciousness was unable to handle that, whatever it is. So what you do is struggle with it, either to keep it or to push it away. I want you to see those two things as the same, because they are both based on a process of you not being through. If you are through, you let it be. If you are not through, it is difficult to let it be. You always want to do something about it, and you become the doer. And this act of having to manipulate, control, deal with every single thing that happens to you, everything that passes your consciousness, is what develops the binding sense of doership, of I. And you are constantly deep inside feeling, I must do, I must control, I must stay in charge, I don't want this, I need that, what will I do, how can I get this? And it's neurotic. Even in its quietest state, it is neurotic. It is incapable of handling anything. It struggles with everything. You say, well, I don't struggle all the time. Oh, you mean sometimes you get it the way you want. Don't tell me that the state of nirvana, that the state of being through, is when you get things the way you want them. That is to be as bound as you possibly could be. Because anytime you have them the way you want them, you have to keep them that way. You don't want that. That is not freedom. The yogi does not want things the way they want them. The yogi wants to be through. The yogi wants to be able to exist in this world with the eyes open, with the hands open, with the heart open, and experience life. Let it dance as it will. Let it bring what it must. Let it take what it does. Serve it with all your being, however it wants to dance. Do your dance. There's no ugliness you could show me that I will not see you behind. There's no beauty that you will show me that I think is more worth clinging than anything else, because it's all you wearing a mask. It's all God dancing behind form. If your child, who you love so much, is playing different parts in a play, which one are you going to cling to and which one are you going to repulse? All that you care about is how wonderful your child's doing. You feel the same love if he plays a villain or if he plays the hero. It doesn't matter. You're looking behind the part at who's playing the part. God is playing the part of life. Life is God made visible. Everything that's taking place is creation. That's all. Nobody asked you to judge it. Nobody asked you to separate like from dislike. You were asked to come here and experience the dance of creation on one planet, and you can't handle it. A few spins around the sun, and then you leave, and it has to be such a melodrama. It has to be so intense. Why? Why is it so intense? That is the question that Buddha asked, and he left everything to try to solve that. And he found the answer. He said, oh, I see why it's so intense. Because I have preferences about how it should be. Does that make it intense? Just go into a room. I'm going to take two people. I'm going to send them into an empty room. It's a nice room, comfortable, nice seats, nothing offensive at all about the room, just a very plain room, but comfortable, nice. One person, before they go in the room, I told them, wait till you see what's in there. Oh my God, what's going to happen to you in there is unbelievable. It's the most unbelievable experience I've ever had. I don't know how long it's going to take before it happens to you, but oh my God, are you going to be blown away? And the other person, when they walk in the room, I just say, the room's a nice room. Sit in there for a while and you get to leave. I'm going to tell you something. One person has a chance of walking in that room and having a reasonably resting experience in the process of their life. The other person is going to suffer. If nothing happens in that room, by the time they come out of that room, they are going to be in bad shape. Why? Because you have a preconceived notion of what is going to take place. You have a model, you have a concept, you have a belief, you have a hope, You have a dream. All the words are the same, aren't they? Look how I used every one of those words, but they're talking about the same thing. They're talking about something that's in your mind about what's out there. And that makes you suffer. And if you never learn anything else, learn that. You make you suffer. You develop these models and concepts which do nothing but make you suffer. Even if you get what you want, you worry about losing it. You are bound. You cannot be free. You are bound to that model. There is no greater prisoner than the soul who is caught behind the concepts. It cannot experience and it cannot express. It has to be very tenuous in everything it does. It has to check, will this help? Will this work? Will this get me what I want? Should I do this now? Should I try? There's no spontaneity. There's no naturalness. And there's no experience of life because you're caught behind this veil. So the yogi wants out. But out doesn't mean leaving. Out means letting go of the model. Remember that. There is nothing to change outside. You just let go of that part of you inside. Once you start this process, what happens is you will see that there are some things you're through with, much more than you think. You're in there putzing around with little stuff that you don't need to play with. Try as hard as you can to let go. Just say, that's it, I'm letting go of everything. Once you even decide to do that, that's when it starts, not finishes. When you finally dare to face the battle and say, okay, I'm just going to let it all go, and you realize some stuff doesn't go. Some just doesn't want to go. You let it go 100,000 times and it wants to stay there. It must have been put in with super glue or something, all right? So there is stuff like that. When it doesn't want to go, it's your samskaras, it's the patterns, it's the blocks that are running your life. Just let go. What you will see is that life will help you. Life will bring to you that which is necessary to remove from you what is still caught. Everything that is brought to you is to remove a part of you. It works like a magnet. It comes, attracts, and if you let go, as it passes, it will take from you what was in you. All of it is your teacher. And life does not take anything from you as a punishment. Things come and go like sandpaper. So Meher Baba said. It's like sandpaper. It goes back and forth. And by going back and forth, it purifies, cleanses, and cleans. So likewise, life purifies the soul by coming and going. Things come and go, don't they? But you want to cling. You want to cling to that which came, which you want, and you want to push away and make sure it doesn't come, that which you don't want. You are stopping the process of life, and it causes tremendous pain and tremendous suffering. The pain that you go through when you permit cleansing to take place, that should not be called pain, and it certainly is not suffering. It is purification. It is releasing. It is, Baba used to say, the pain that ends all pain. It is the blockages being removed from your heart. And you should welcome this. So the yogi, to be free, there's nothing you can touch. You can't make yourself free. You just let go. You let go and let God. You permit it to unfold without preference, without desire. What if you have preference or desire? You let it go. Let what go? The preference and desire. All of them? No, not all of them. You can keep the ones that you want to keep, and you don't have to be free to that degree. It's your right. You can stay bound in certain areas, no problem. You just won't get to know what it's like to be free. How free do you want to be? How high do you want to fly? How deep do you want to explore? You let it all go. Why not? I wonder what's on the other side if you let life be what it was. Which of you could tell me about it? All of it. Each moment. Let it unfold as it would if you weren't there. And yet, when it comes before you and brings you work, you put your being into it selflessly as an act of service to life. Taking nothing, pushing away nothing, just saying, what's the dance now? You think you can't hear the song if you want to. The song happens to be very loud. It's loud. The trouble is the ego's louder. It's very busy with its eyes. So freedom is a very great thing. There's not enough that can be said. As your soul starts to feel free, you rejoice in the process of life. There's never a single day that's a problem. Not a single day. There's not a single relationship that causes any problems. There's not anything that ever can touch you ever again. You are free. You're free to soar. You're free to experience. You're free to be sick. You're free to get better. You're free to have a relationship. You're free not to. You're free to have people like you. You're free to have them not. But notice, it's not the freedom that you're doing it. I'm sitting there saying, oh, well, free to have a relationship. I think I'll have one. It's not like that. It's like whatever unfolds is what is. And your whole process is laissez-faire. You're hands off. You touch nothing. Neither with deed, word, nor thought. As you move closer and closer to this, your divinity opens up inside of you. And when you are free, you have set life free. And life is a very great thing. There's two very great things, you and life. There's a very, very beautiful dance. When you let life be, she lets you be. And you be one. So this is the process of yoga. It's the process of liberation. If you want to suffer, you are free to. If you want to say, not this, I'm not letting go of this, then don't. If that's what you want to do, that's what you do. You have free will. You really do. You can keep as much suffering as you want. The only free will you don't get is you sit there and say, I want to keep it all, but I don't want to suffer. It's impossible. You set up a rule that can't happen. If you're in there clinging and grabbing and fighting, you are in there clinging and grabbing and fighting. And you're going to suffer. Boy, it can get so tight, can't it? If she just looks at you the wrong way, it hurts. If he doesn't say something, oh, it hurts so bad. You're doing it. You don't get that way about other people. Why are you that way? Because you built the model. You permitted yourself to have these preferences and desires and cravings. Let go. Let go.